Guys, this is exciting. Look at this. Subway's got some news. Apparently they're rebranding some of their sandwiches or something. I don't know. I'm excited to check this out, though. When I go into my local Subway here today to get my freaking new sandwich, baby. But how are we doing? It is your boy Trey from Trey's coming back again. Yesterday I put out a video called The Real Price, and I read through a lot of these comments. I tried to respond to some people, and I wanted to make a follow-up video because I recognize what you guys have to say, right? There's a lot of differing opinions in here, and I think maybe a better way to could have construed the message, and for that, I apologize. I totally do. I'm going to try and get this across in a different way so that you guys can understand what I mean, because your guys' opinions matter to me. You know, I'm trying to do everybody right in this sort of scenario, so let me come back and revisit essentially what the topic was and what I was trying to get across. So today I kind of want to talk about dark pool trading, off-exchange trading, that whole sort of thing, so I can explain to you kind of what I was trying to get across in my message. So what is the issue with dark pool trading and off-exchange trading? There's a couple main things that I wanted to focus on. You've got block trades, transparency, availability, and reporting. Obviously, I have to preface by saying that I'm not a financial advisor, it's not financial advice. Please take what I say with a grain of salt. So let's just get into the video here. So the whole purpose of dark pool trading is for large firms to be able to execute block trades, huge chunks of shares being traded on any given day without moving the market, and also with a little less transparency. And these are issues because it's not something that's readily available to the general public. So what can end up happening here, right? We don't know how much actual regulation is taking place. Yes, there is regulation in the dark pools and on the off-exchange trading, but since there is not transparency, these big firms can get a lot of stuff done without having to essentially reveal that to the public. It's, especially with stocks like AMC, where it's very hotly watched, very hotly talked about. There's a lot of people, I don't know what the heck is going on any given day. So the block trades and the lack of transparency, in and of itself, you can make an argument stating, hey, I think that's okay. Hey, I don't think it's okay. But what you cannot make an argument for is that there's a lack of availability to everybody to execute why can I not talk? Execute trades on the dark pool. There's also lack of reporting, which means that the information that is given to the general public is not always painting the entire picture. An example of this today is the short interest. So short interest, for example, this is based on a T2 settlement system, and every 2 weeks you get a new updated FINRA report in terms of short interest. This has recently got dropped a little bit, even though the shares on loan stayed the same, 99 million, that's about what it was. So that's actually the same, maybe even a little bit higher. And the information, the problem is that any sort of trades that are taking place on dark pools, off-exchange trading, XYZ, 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 right? You have a lag of information. And what, this kind of brings me to is this dark realm, essentially, the shadow realm, man, of information that the apes just do not have access to. And this is problematic because this is the exact sort of systemic problems that we've been talking about in the stock market around AMC for literally the last 7 months, since January, my friends. This is the problem. And when people talk about the real price of AMC, I totally, understand what you're talking about in terms of the price is being suppressed. I believe that 100%. You've got so many things that are contributing to the suppression of AMC stock. And it could just be something as simple as these block trades. Maybe there's huge buyers that are executing orders in the dark pools that we don't know about. Huge sellers that are, executing orders in the dark pool that we don't know about. Lack of transparency. There's a whole bunch of different facets to it. You've got naked short selling. This obviously suppresses the price. You've got heavy leveraging and derivatives markets that are being played by these big firms and hedge funds that allow them to play with more money than they actually should be able to do, which then causes failure to deliver, which suppresses the price action. You've got high frequency trading, essentially a couple different firms that'll trade the same stock hundreds of thousands of times, which can then push the stock price down on any given day. You've got media collusion, which can drive the price down any given day by driving fear, uncertainty, doubt, FUD, right? All these different things. T2 settlement system. How does this actually affect the stock price, right? It creates this lag of information. It can actually affect buyers, right? There's a whole bunch of freaking diamond-handed freaking gorillas and silverbacks out there who don't give a single flippin' F about what's happening on any given day. But there are people who care, right? There are people who want to know that sort of stuff, who need the information to be able to make that decision for themselves. And that just is what it is, right? All of these things contribute to a suppressed price. And when I talk about, the real price not being something that's traded, what I meant to say essentially is think about it like this. If there was, this is a thing, right? This does exist, a secondary book, but this is the thing, right? If you've got a book right here, This trades at right now about $40. And let's hypothetically say that on the second book, it's trading at $2,000. Well, why would people go through the secondary book to buy the stock at $2,000 when they can go through the first book and buy it at $40? This is the thing that I'm talking about, my friends, right? So the real price thing. I think a good way to think about this, if you want to, think about a real price, is what would the price of AMC be if all of these things were not a problem with an AMC stock, right? If you didn't have a T2 settlement system lag, if you didn't have naked short selling, if you didn't have all these failure to delivers that derived in the market, if you didn't have collusion, if you didn't have high frequency trading, if you didn't have short ladder attacks, if you didn't have this lack of transparency, if people weren't executing over half of the freaking volume in the entire stock market on off exchange trading platforms such as the dark pool, right? What would the real price of AMC be at that point? Is there an actual secondary price that's being traded on any given day? I can almost say with absolute certainty that there is not. But the real price, if you want to imagine it as any sort of way, think about it essentially as what the stock would be trading at and should be trading at if, everything was as it should be within the stock market, right? So when I put out that video yesterday, in no sort of way was I trying to discourage you from the stock. I believe in AMC and the cause for one main reason, the conviction in the apes, right? I believe in the people that are behind this entire movement. I believe in the stories. I believe in the whys. I believe in the guy out there who's literally fighting for his brother or his sister on his left and right side of the freaking Twitter realm, or the YouTube realm, whatever it may be, your neighbor, whoever it is. I believe in the people. That's the entire trade to me. It's sticking a message to these big firms that say, fuck you to the little guys on the streets every single day. That's the entire trade here. I believe in it. I've been talking about the suppression of stock price for months, my friends. Believe me when I say this thing makes me angry. It does. It pisses me off. Like, I hate seeing that there are people out there, the little guy, who just gets pissed on all the time by these big firms simply for the fact that they're trying to make money at the expense of others. It's just ridiculous, right? In no way, shape, or form will I ever argue that the price is being suppressed. I believe that. I truly do. All that I'm asking is essentially that we understand what's happening on a day-to-day basis, right? So this $40 price, this $2,000 price, whatever the actual price is, this 2,000 hypothetical, I don't know what numbers are being thrown around to an exact T, but the odds of that actually happening, right? It's slim. It's slim. I just don't think there's a secondary price that's being traded. Sure, there are secondary books. I won't argue that in the least bit, right? There are a lot of people out there who have argued about that. New York Stock Exchange president, right? He's come out and said that the actual price of AMC is probably being suppressed. And I will never, ever argue that. In fact, I'm pretty sure I retweeted that somewhere on my Twitter, right? It's obvious. You can look at this thing for a couple of days and recognize after doing a couple hours of due diligence and research that there's a multitude of facets that are suppressing AMC stock. And that's exactly what this trade is about. It's about fighting for a better market for you, a better market for your neighbor, your friend, your brother, your sister, your dad, your mom, your future family, your kids, and a future better market for others. That's ultimately what this whole trade is about to me, my friends. When I started talking about AMC stock, I was a swing trading channel, right? A little bit of a story here. And I got an AMC as a swing trade. And after watching what unfolded, I couldn't look away. I could not just step away from the stock and think to myself, man, I would be okay sleeping at night knowing that this sort of thing is going to continue to happen and you're going to continue to have people just get fucked by this sort of blatant fraudulence. It's just ridiculous, right? And that's what this whole thing is about to me. And I think that's what it's about to the majority of the apes out there, man. It's about the fact that they're just angry. It's people angry about 2008, about all of these companies that have gotten bankrupted into oblivion by these malicious hedge funds that use tools that the little guy has never even been able to use, right? It's speaking out against essentially a broken and purposefully built system that is favored towards the 1%, these rich guys who try to take money from you. And that's the entire trade behind AMC. So in no way, shape, or form was I out here to be, the bearer of bad news. I absolutely believe in AMC stock. I believe in the squeeze. I believe that the price is being suppressed. I just wanted to offer essentially a perspective, right? A way to look at this and recognize that, hey, this probably just isn't happening, and that's okay. It's okay that there's not a secondary price that's being traded. Think of the real price essentially as what the stock should be trading at and would be trading at if all the market was as it should be. Will there come a day when that actually happens, when the real price, quote unquote, the real price of AMC is essentially on the market. I like to think so. That's why I'm long on the stock. That's why I believe in the apes, because I think this thing will freaking squeeze. I think eventually the little guys are going to get the win, and you're going to go down the freaking history books. It's a legacy being written by the little guys in real freaking time, and that's amazing. So that's essentially what I wanted to clarify here. I hope that offers some perspective and a little bit of a clarification. I understand where you guys are coming from. I do read you guys' comments. I try to, feed as much as I can to what you guys are looking for. Ultimately, that's what I'm here for, right? I'm here to give you what you want to see. And hopefully I'm able to do that for you. So that's what I've got for this video. Blah, blah, blah. I know this will drop like a subscribe. I want to do, my friends. Catch you on the next one. Light taps, baby. Much love and peace.